I know this is early, and so what we're going to do is, in New York, when we have classes in theater or cabaret or opera, we start every class with a breathing exercises, a relaxation exercises, so that the students get rid of the world that they came from and start to concentrate on what they will be doing. So this whole relaxation exercise period that you will see was started by John Harris at the Lee Strasberg School. We have found it to be the most beneficial thing in the classes and for all the singers. The things that come out of these exercises are just phenomenal, because they get into a place where you can really teach them, where they can really do the work that they're supposed to do. And it's a preparation that all the leading people that I have taught do when they get to the theater or when they do a concert. I mean, they just will never do anything without these exercises, because they know how beneficial they are. And so what we're going to do is ask the singers to come up on the stage. If there's anyone else here who would like to join in the relaxation exercises, and you want to get your breathing going and wake up, come up here. So would you come on up? I think that all the singers should do this, because I think you'll find it really wonderful, and you can understand it more if you do it and see what it does.
you take the deep breath, hold your body firm, not rigid, and say the number 1. Speak the numbers as deep as possible to help you get into your steady speaking voice. I will say breathe, and you will say 1, 2, and so forth. Feel how the body reacts every time. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax a moment. And then I want you to sit up and cross your legs, and I'll make one more exercise. Now this is an exercise that I learned from Andy. When I first came to Andy, I had lost my voice in the middle of a big career. Now my voice is absolutely perfect, if there is such a thing. But let's say that I can sing expressively, I can enjoy my singing. And all of these ideas are what have made me learn to love to sing, not be scared to death when I'm on stage. That's why we formed the whole Singers Forum Foundation in New York City, was to teach people all of the things we never learned as we came along. And one of the main things is learning how to center yourself. All right? Now, sit up straight. Now, you heard last night, if you were here, that the high chest is very important. If you study with Mr. Whitney, he would always say, lift and tip, lift and tip, lift and tip, lift and tip. Send the sound, curve it back and up. All of this was talked about last night. Now, I want you to experience what that is. In the first place, the chest has to be high, relatively high at all times. And you say, oh, well, that feels very unnatural, that is so tiring, that is, all the things that we all go through. All right? But after a while, that happens when you breathe. That has this resonance. Now watch. See how it loses that resonance? That resonance is not a false resonance. It's a resonance simply because the vocal cords hang down into the trachea where they're supposed to be. It's nothing I dreamed of. It is a fact of how to make sound correctly. All right? Now, so I'm going to give you some exercises to develop the chest. Ready? Put your hand here. Start the breath here. All right? You're going to start the breath there. Breathe. Hold. Lift and tip. Down. 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 Lift and tip. Hold. Lift forward. Blow. Keep that up. Keep this expanded. Control the diaphragm at all times. Tip the head slightly forward. So you don't do this if you go to a high note. The sound goes right into your teeth. So this is all the head resonance. Head resonance goes that way. Not out here on your front teeth. That's belting. Belting. You ever hear that? Belting. Memory. You heard that. All right. Anyway, have a wonderful class. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Don't move. Stay there. Stay there. There's one little exercise I want you to do, especially for the people who are
Performing today. Stay in that position and close your eyes and see yourself. This is a visualization exercise that even the Olympic champions are using now. See yourself on a big white movie screen. "20 feet tall, like they are on the screen." And see yourself on this stage, bigger than life, like they are on the screen. Try to see yourself as clearly as possible the way you want us to see you. How you want to sound, how you want to feel when you are performing today, what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve. See yourself doing it the way you know you can do it. We've all had times when we felt like it was totally right and felt great, and you were really doing it. Try to recapture that moment on the screen, bigger than life, because this is a bigger than life avenue of expression that we are portraying on the stage or on television or wherever it is. It takes tremendous energy to do it. So see yourself totally alive, totally giving of yourself, of your feelings, of your voice. Because singing is giving. It really should be called giving, because you have to learn to give of yourself totally to whatever it is you're trying to communicate. So see yourself doing that this morning the way you want it to be, and I know you will come very close to it. And then put that image in a big pink bubble. Pink because it's the color of the heart, and the heart doesn't lie. And a bubble so that nothing or anyone can puncture that idea you just had of yourself. Not even yourself. And then let it float away where it is already working through your subconscious mind to bring it about. And then come back into the room, and we will do one more exercise because I know it's early and you need all the help you can get. So would you stand? And I have found this exercise to be so invaluable because it shows you how everything feels and how the breath works. And that is, you're bending over with your arms hanging down like this, and your head is, and in that position, your face relaxes, your jaw relaxes, the root of the tongue falls down automatically, and the soft palate goes up, which is all the things that should happen, and you feel yourself breathing all the way to your back. So you get everything working. And I just have to very quickly, I don't have much time, but I want to quickly tell you a story about Jose Ferrer, who unfortunately passed away last year. And I'm very sad about that. But he was a great man, and loved to sing. He had a passion for singing. And he really should have been a singer and not an actor, because that's really what he wanted to do. But he was always trying to find the way to sing. And he went to 30 teachers, he told me, all over the world. And I met him at the Players Club. I'm a member of the Players Club, and he was the president. And we talked about singing all the time. And so, but he was very disillusioned about singing by that time. But somehow I got him to come to my studio, and I said, let's just try something. And I gave him this exercise here, and the most tremendous sound came out of this man. It was unbelievable. In that position, his soft palate went up for the first time, because when he was born without a soft palate, and they had to make one. So it was always a very lazy muscle. But in this position, it went up and out rolled this sound. Well, you never saw anybody so happy in your life. So from that moment on, we were a team. So let's try this exercise. Bending over with your knees slightly bent, breathing all the way to your back. And we're going to just go up the scale and do O-E-O. And feel yourself breathing all the way to your back. Don't care what the sound sounds like. Just let it come out. Here we go. C. Breathe. Up the scale. Oh, keep your head down. Just let it go where it wants to go. Don't put it anywhere. It will go by itself. Now slowly come up, trying to hold on to that same feeling. Wait a minute, while you are singing. You shouldn't be all the way up until the end of the scale. Here we go. Breathe. See what happens to you as you start coming up. How does that feel? Try it now, standing up, going for that same feeling. Down here. Start at the bottom of the scale. Lift your chest up, tip your head. Now let me hear the singers who are performing today. Do one scale.
Same way?
Same way. Yes, go ahead.
Which one?
The same exercise.
Oh, all right. I'll go up here.
That's okay, start low.
No, just let's have her do it. That's right. Lift your chest up. Tip your head down. That's right. Let it go there. Okay, let me hear you do it. All right, very good. Next. Very good. It gives you a feeling of the room, too. All right, good. Next. All right, good. Who else is singing? All right, let's have you.
Oh, One more.
Okay, good. One more. Tip your head down. Okay, that should help you a little bit. I'm sorry I can't get to everybody, but I think we've got to get to the songs. So will everybody leave except for the singers? The singers can stay up on the stage, or you can come down, whatever you... Another thing that does is that it unifies the group effort when you're doing an opera workshop or a cabaret or a theater class. It seems to unify the whole group so that the work gets much better and easier. Who's going to be first? Hello, is this working? Is this working now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. There it is. Okay. Great. Okay, what are you going to sing, Eric?
Father and Son from March of the Falsetto by William Smith.
Okay, would you get that chair? I don't think people are acquainted with this piece. And just sit there and say the words to the song very slowly. Never sing with your glasses on. Take them off. Unless that's the character you wanted to develop, you know, for the song.
Kid, be my son, though what I've done to you is rotten. Say I was scared. I kept marching in one place. Marching in time to a tune I'd forgotten. I loved you. I love you. I meant no disgrace. This here is love when we're talking face to face. Father to son, I for one would take love slower. I've made my choice, but you can sing a different song. Watch as you sing, how your voice gets much lower. You'll be, kid, a man, kid. Nothing goes wrong. Sing for yourself as we march along. A man, kid. You'll be, kid. Whatever the song, sing for yourself as we march along.
You seem to have an emotional connection to this song. You want to tell us about it?
Sure. The first time I heard this song, I was with a friend of mine. As we were listening, he sat back and said, you know, I would give...
Can't hear you.
He said, I'd give anything to hear my father sing that song to me. And I guess I kind of understood what he said. It was really pretty.
Do you have this kind of connection with your father?
Well,
Or you would like it to be better?
yeah, I guess that's...
Yeah.
Use the mic.
Well, I think that you don't need any help with this song. This is wonderful what's happened, because you're so open and you're so vulnerable, and that's everything that we're trying to teach. So let's see, sing the song and let's see what happens. Whatever happens, let it happen. I don't care. It doesn't have to be, you know, a performance of it. I'd like it to come out of you, just where you are now. Use the mic. It's okay. If you're comfortable with it.
I don't think I am.
All right.
Can I have like a few seconds to like...
No, don't take a few seconds. Go right into it from here. Don't care about what it sounds like. Just let us feel it. Okay.
Kid, be my son, though what I've done to you is rotten. Say I was scared, I kept marching in one place, marching in time to love. I love you. I love you. I meant no disgrace. This here is love. When we're Father to son, I for one would take love slower. I made my choice, but you can sing a different song. Watch as you sing, how your voice gets much lower. If nothing goes wrong, sing for yourself as we march along.
Well, I think I speak for everyone in this room. You gave us a real moment. This is one of the most beautiful moments I have ever seen anywhere, at any time. It's so difficult to get a student to open up the way you already are open. And it's very moving and it's very beautiful. What you have to do now is to work on your vocal technique so it matches your vulnerability. Once you get those two things together, it's just going to be fantastic. You have a great talent, and you must pursue it. It was really beautiful, and I think we all thank you. Thank you. Where do we go from here? Somebody have something exciting enough? Well, okay. What are you going to do?
I'm going to sing Life Story from Closer Than Ever.
Okay, let's hear the words again. Take your time.
It was a liberated marriage. We shared the household chores, of course. We understood each other's feelings right down to the day of our sensible divorce.
Don't go too fast.
I didn't ask him for a penny. I'd had my liberated training. So off he went with his hair of bronze to find a life like Khalil Gibran's. I got my rest from the drugs he did. He got his quest. I got the kid. But oh, I'm not complaining.
Go slower.
So I set off to be a writer, a modern mother on her own. I wrote up happenings at galleries, turned down jobs with salaries, stayed freelance and alone. I fought the battles of the 60s, which you recall were rather draining. When men were thick, I hit the fray, became a prick, got equal pay. I faced down chauvinistic slobs. I won the fights, improved the jobs, and oh, I'm not complaining. My husband found himself his ashram. Lost 40 pounds. Did I do that already?
No.
Lost 40 pounds and went through hell. And then one day he came back from limbo, found himself some bimbo, and moved to New Rochelle. I raised my son and I had lovers. My choices sometimes take explaining. I'd meet some jock, my friends would scoff. He'd stay a while, I'd drive him off. I kept my space, preserved my turf. 6 months, I'd send him back to surf, but oh, I'm not complaining. So now my son's halfway through college. I pay tuition like a fine. I'm still this feisty freelance writer, resume well-honed, at a well-toned 49. I find that getting work is harder. Each job I want takes more campaigning. And those sweet young things who hire me now, those MBAs making 50,000, who smile and ask what I have done when they get their jobs from the fights I won. Oh, they should all stay home and have babies. But I'm not complaining. And in the evening at my window, as I watch Jersey growing dim, I feel a troubling emotion summed up in this notion: I wish I'd stayed with him. Lord knows each day with him was madness, as I have spent my life maintaining. But more and more I recall the joy, my golden dreamer, my lost boy. Our life was life in the twilight zone, but no worse than a life alone. And oh, I chose my way, and I'm not complaining.
Heavy morning. Oh. We're going to need the fireworks. Well, here you have really a whole lifetime. You know, you have a whole lifetime to tell in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, that takes phenomenal talent. But I think you have it because of the way you handled this lyric. Now you're young, so I don't know how much of this has gone on in your, any of it has gone on into your life, in your life. So then if you have to play this part, then what do you do to pull it off?
Are you asking?
I have an idea, but let me hear yours.
Well, I guess I can relate to a lot of this. I mean, I'm not 49, but I certainly can relate to an awful lot of this. Even in my
Hold it closer.
Even in my 30-plus years,
Yes.
I've made a lot of choices that I look back on, some with happiness, some with regret, some with a great deal of embarrassment. And I try and draw on those experiences and bring them into this song. And I want to tell you this. I called my voice teacher in a panic last night. Because it's not the music or the words that I'm particularly concerned about, it's the emotional content. And I've been working on this song for only a couple of weeks, and I haven't quite settled on the emotional content as much as I would like.
Well, it would take a lot longer than that because there's so much in here. But what she's doing is right, because she's making specific choices for each episode, right? That happens in this song, which is great. That's it. That's what you must do. I don't know. There's something else you could do is, since it's such a span of time and life, so I find that something that works is start out singing the song as a child. And as you keep going, you keep growing in your mind. Keep going from 5 to 8 to 12, whatever was going on, whatever comes into your, into your life or your mind at that time, into your teens, and then, specific events like that took place for you. If you keep your mind busy on that, I think it will free the story more and will not get you so emotionally into it that you can't sing it. Okay? Try it and let's see what happens.
It was a liberating marriage. We shared
There's so many things went on here. I hope I can remember them all because you did some wonderful work here. Did you notice, you know, the audience should never know where the song is going to go. You never should know the end of the song. So often, material not like this, but material that's recognizable can be predictable. So you always have to find a way never to make it predictable. It should always be unique. It should always be in a way no one has ever done it before. And it should start at one place and end some place that the audience would never dream that it's going to go. Now, when she did the song, I never knew, did you, that she was going to feel that way about this man that she left? Did you? No. So that was wonderful, the way you did that, because it was a total surprise. The other thing that happened, which was great, you've had wonderful vocal training.
Gene Siegel.
Well, you did a great job, because did you notice when she went to the feelings of being warm and the wife and the mother at the end of the song, her voice changed. She went into the upper register, which conveyed the feelings of that warmth and that change. And it was, you know, it wouldn't be perceptible to the audience, but would be so effective the way you did that. Because it wasn't an obvious vocal range change. You kept the words very clear, and yet this lovely soprano came in there, but nobody would know that. It's just that we were feeling the emotion of the change. And that was wonderful. One thing I think you have to work on is, what's that line you say over and over again? I'm not complaining. Every time you say that, you have to find a way of saying it that has to do with that choice. It has to be very clear. And I know you haven't had time to work on it long enough because it takes time to do a song like that. But try to work on it with that idea in mind. Okay? But your freedom and your commitment to the material, all the things are so strong. And if you can do this in 2 weeks, I mean, after a few months, I mean, it'll be a terrific piece for you. Were you able to use what I gave you, or did you use a mix, or what?
I think I was sort of using your suggestion already in terms of getting the piece together, so that it didn't seem all that foreign to incorporate your suggestion. It was already kind of there.
Right.
I think.
That's all it should be, really, because it's a place you can always bounce from, you know. Thank you. That was wonderful. Oh, gee. All right.
Somebody had to be different. Let me sing Now I Have Everything from Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay. When you say now I have everything, you know, you have to, what is everything for you? Not what is everything in a song, but what is everything for you? You know, all the specifics for you. Like, what is everything? What would everything be for you? In other words, that's what you have to do for the song in order to put it across. You have to think about that when you're singing it. You have to have it prepared before you sing it. And write down, you know, all the things that,
Included in everything.
yeah, for whatever that is for your particular life. So you don't have to tell us, but think about it when you're singing it and when you work on it. Okay? Go ahead.
I'm very happy, Hal. Very happy. Are you? I used to tell myself that I had everything, but that was only half true. I had an aim in mind, and that was everything, but now I can have you. I had something that I would die for, someone that I can live for too. Yes, now I have everything, not only everything, I have a little bit more. Besides having everything, I know what everything is for. I used to wonder, would there be a wife to share such a difficult, wandering kind of life? Who knows tomorrow where our home will be? Everything is fine and something that I would die for, someone that I can live for too. Yes, now I have everything, not only everything, I have a little bit more. Besides having everything, I know what everything is for.
Go up there. Would you go and sit on the chair? Yeah,
And sit on the chair?
sit on the chair. You be his huddle. You need her. This song is so rapid that you have to really work on it slowly in order to really get in touch with it, with the words, yeah, and then gradually pick up the tempo. You know what I mean? So if you have everything, and then now you have her, okay? Let's pretend, okay, that you're Donald Trump. I mean, we think he's got everything. And she's Marla.
She's who?
Marla, his girlfriend. I mean, he got rid of Ivana, and now he's got Marla. So, if you were, whatever you know about Donald Trump, you know, use it. Don't be you, be Donald, and she'll be Marla.
Okay.
And let's see what happens out of that story, so then we can get to your story. Okay? Try it. Take your glasses off.
I used to tell myself that I had everything, but that was
God, that was exciting. Donald will do it every time. But you know what happened was his voice got much more beautiful, didn't it? The quality. And it seemed like, I don't know if you slowed it down, but it seemed like we heard it. It didn't seem so fast this time because you had that beautiful girl to relate to. And no director would have to improve on that because it's so hard to do boy-girl duets, and everything you did was so real, so natural. It was really wonderful. Thank you. Next.
The mic.
Sure, absolutely. This is more cabaret? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Now, the thing about cabaret is that when you are by yourself there in cabaret, you have to create the whole illusion of whatever that is, whatever that song is trying to say with each single song. It's like, it's similar to what a recital should be. Every song has to be a play. Every song has to be a 3-minute play. So even though it's cabaret and the essence of entertaining has to always be there, you can still arrive at it by doing the kind of work that we've been doing here this morning. It becomes much more powerful. You see performers who are always reaching out with some kind of nervous energy, and that is never as good as really focusing in and having an intention for each song. So let's try to do that. Have you? Yeah, you have a strong. What is the song? Oh.
Did you want a translation or not? Doesn't matter.
Give us a translation. Not all of it, just yeah.
In essence, it says, no, I regret nothing. Ni le bien de ma paix, not the good for my peace of mind, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal, nor the bad, because it's all equal, and it's today that counts. Car ma vie, because my life, ma joie, my joy, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi. Today it begins with you.
Ni le mal
But because you are so young, you have to you have to fill it stronger with whatever has come into your life up to this point. Don't hold that back. You have wonderful instincts. Go with those instincts. Work on your high voice, so that if you work on that, even though you choose not to use it, if you work on that, you do when you want to. Okay, but whatever, when it'll make this lower voice, which is very good, and you're using it very well, but it'll keep it healthy. See, that's how you keep it healthy. So keep doing it. This is it's a wonderful low voice. It's just, and you have a great look. You have a great appearance, and you have freedom there that you're not trusting enough. Just go with it. It won't be too much. If it is too much, I'll fly in and let you know. I mean, because it's all there. So trust it. Thank you.
Here, I'll stay.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, before you start, tell us about your feelings about the song. I would like to take more time, but
Sure.
it's just going by so quickly.
The song is Here I'll Stay, and I get a real feeling of home about it. You know, that real comfortable feeling after you've been away and you've been around and you come home and you feel really comfortable.
Oh, very good. All right. Use that. Good.
If I've no will to go from home, or have no urge the seas to roam, or turn my back on a distant star, and never burn to wander far, it's not because of fear, it's because my home is clear. There's a far land untold where I'll find a field of gold.
God, the talent in this town is terrific. It's wonderful. You should work with the mic a lot, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether I should use the mic for this or do it without the mic.
Yeah,
I figured-
but because you have a way of being very personal and very intimate and very warm, and that's, it's wonderful that the way you capture and relate to the audience that way. Can we just hear a little bit on the mic?
Sure.
Can you go back to the release and to the end?
For that land is a sandy illusion. It's the dream of a dream gone astray. And the world of the truth I find loving you, and so here I'll stay.
All right, thank you. We have one more? Yeah. Oh, go over a little bit. Good.
We're doing It's Never That Easy, and I've been here before from Closer Than Ever.
Now, who are the two of you in this situation here?
Well, we played it a couple of different ways, but basically I'm somebody who's either like a mother of hers or an older person, and I'm a little annoyed with her for something she's going through.
And the way I'm handling it.
Uh-huh. So have you been in a similar situation yourself?
Yeah,
Sort of?
something, yeah, similar.
Mm-hmm. With someone. Okay. Well then, I would make her that person. And you make her whoever that is.
You just met him. Yes, I know. This is lasting. This will grow. But oh, it's never that
Unfortunately, we have to move along, so I will talk to you outside. And with your beautiful faces, don't cover them up with glasses on the stage. My God.
We don't have a choice.
What do you mean you don't have a choice? You have a choice. Don't wear them.
I'll be singing Buitoy from Saigon.
Okay.
I call survivors, I won't spot. When I'm home, I won't give a damn. But now I know why I can't. I'll never leave Vietnam. War isn't over when it ends. Some pictures never leave your mind. They are the faces of the children, the ones we've left behind. They're called we toy, the dust of life, conceit in hell, and burning strife. We are the living reminders of all the good we failed to do. We can't forget, must not forget, that they are all our children. These prison walls on every side, they don't belong in any place. Their story they can't hide is printed on their face. Never thought one day I'd or half-breeds from a land that's torn. But then I saw them with children whose crime was reborn. They're called joy, the dust of life, conceit in hell, and burning strife. We owe them fathers and a family, a coming home they never knew. Because we know deep in our hearts that they are all our children too. These are souls in need, and they need us to give. Someone has to pay for the chance to live. Help me try. They are living reminders of all the good we failed to do. That's why we know, deep in our hearts, that's why we know that they are all our children too.
Okay, we have this one girl. We got to stop after 4 minutes. We have only one. I'm gonna talk to you later because we have one more person. Is that all right? And I'll talk to them outside.
I'm going to speak into his microphone. I'm sorry we're running late. We do have a panel at 11 that will begin on time. If there are people interested in going with Andy and he agrees, we've got a room, the Georgian room down the hall. If you would like to follow with him and get comments, do I have your...
Okay.
Would you do
Sure.
that? Okay, we will hear the last singer and then people leaving with Andy as quickly as possible. Thank you.
I just want to say, since we've stopped and she's getting ready, that Elizabeth Wheeler, stand up. Elizabeth has some tapes of the relaxation and the vocal exercises that you saw here today. If any of you are interested in getting them, you could see Elizabeth over there.
Would you mind very much if I discussed the palace instead of the whiz?
Whatever you want to do. Sure. She's getting down to business now.
He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares. Knowing this, I might run from him. He spread kids on the stairs. I was caught unaware, and I thought, well, he cares. It's more than just malice. Better stop and think off while you're standing here stuck with the steps of this palace. You think, what do you want? You think, make a decision. Why not stay and be cautious? It's not the time to be wrong. But then what if he knew who you were when you know that you're not what he thinks they want? And then what if you wrong? Make a decision. How about how can you know who you are till you know what you want, what you don't, so then which do you pick? It's safe out of sight in yourself, but where everything's wrong. Or where everything's right, but you know that you'll never be wrong. And whichever you pick, do it quick, when you're starting to stick to the steps of the palace. Perfect decision. The choice isn't easy to make. To rise and fall, fighting it all, but you're never scary. And it's fun to deceive when you know you can leave, but you have to be wary. There's a lot that can stay when you stop walking down, 'cause you're still standing, stopping yourself on the steps. Run along home, avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'll be better off there. There's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So you put right on your shoes. It's a lot. And without any guide, you know what your decision is, which is now to decide. Just leave him a clue. For example, a shoe. And see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with a shoe in a stew, in the glue. And you will learn something too, something you never knew, on the steps of the palace.
Bravo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if anyone can come along with me in the other room and you have any questions about what's here today, please come over there and we'll talk about it.
But I want to ask about your school. You write for information? Do you have auditions?
Yeah,
and
here,
what about
I'll give you-
tuition?
Oh, I have a card right here.
Yeah.
And there's a girl out there, outside the door there, who can give you some brochures.
Okay, out here.
You know, at the other place where we were. There's a blue and white.
But could you tell me about your tuitions or how that works? I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for a daughter.
Call us up and we'll tell you.
I'm in Vienna. I won't be able to do that so easily, but I guess write best.
Right there, and we'll send you the information.
Yeah. Well, could you tell me about tuition just
It's so hard for me to think right now about tuition, but you know, it's.
Are you going to?
Yes.
I have to pull him away. This is where.
Oh, that's why my
We're going to get the
Are we going to be able
to work?
What I'll do is, I'll just talk. I think we'll ask questions.
Here's what
I want to talk to the last three people.
I want you to get each of the three people up here and talk to them one by one as you want to, and then throw it open to
that's what I would do.
And we're going to get
That's what I. Can people?
They will.
Can they get chairs, or do they have to sit on the floor? Guys, that was so moving. No, don't be sorry. It was.
Address the singers, the last group of three
That's
singers,
great.
or actually the duet and the other singers that finished up and did not get any comments from Andy. And then I think he will open the floor for questions and discussion. And thanks for coming in. If you feel comfortable sitting on the floor, I think that's about what we're going to be faced with.
Thank you all for coming in here. I do have a tape recorder, and I think Bauer will make copies of this, but I'm going to ask Andy to speak. And our cord reaches here, if you could just stand in this area. Okay?
Okay.
You're on.
Well, are the two girls? This woman wants to see you over there. Here she is, the one with the white bag. She wants some information.
Okay.
The two girls. Is this? Don't wear those glasses. You're too beautiful to wear those. No, don't do that, because we can't see your eyes. And then you can't really relate that well on the stage.
Can you see her?
Trying to look into her eyes.
Well, there's always contacts. Yeah. So I thought what you could do is just become much more physical with it. You know, don't be afraid to touch and to, you know, to move each other. Because you're trying to get through to each other, aren't you? You're trying to do everything possible to do that. So don't be afraid to get physical. You know, really, really move and, you know, do things. Don't be afraid to do things like that. Yeah, pull your hair, anything. But you're both, you know, since I heard you vocally, you have come a long way. Yeah, it makes the material so much stronger. But don't be afraid to pull into each other.
I think that's sort of our biggest drawback, is that we're so conservative people to begin with, and then to try to just let go of that. It's
Yeah.
very difficult.
Now, I must say, most of the people here today really let go. I mean, they were really, they come out of themselves so much. It was great. So, however, that, you know, that's a whole process that you have to go through in order to free that. But the main thing is try being very physical with each other and see what comes out of that. And don't care about how bad it is or how it looks or, you know, anything. Just do it. Okay? Thank you. Yes, he's still here. I think he is.
Andy, she came in here. I can do it.
Okay. Where is the tenor? I like what's happening to your voice. It's different. That's a great material for you. How's the top doing? Are you still going in there?
Yeah.
Good. Because I can hear the difference. Not much to tell you except just go that way. You're doing fine. And the last girl, is she here? You got to get to New York.
No, Dan, you're right.
Yeah, because there's work for you there. You're very talented and you have the whole package. Just get there and start right in. Right? Oh, there you are. I like to bring people into this. You know, I'd like you to ask me questions. Okay?
I've been having a wonderfully exciting week. You all hear me?
Yes.
Talking with all of you colleagues and meeting new friends and having just a remarkable exchange of information, and not only just information, but a real sense of camaraderie and a tremendous sense of purpose and what all of our direction is about. And this morning's been very special and unusual for me, not just because I'm bursting like a peacock crowd, but besides that, we've been talking a lot about expressing the story and coming in touch with our feelings and how we can apply that to our art. And I don't know if I'm opening up Pandora's box here, but I would like to ask you the question that has been on a lot of people's minds this week, and that is the issue of, I've been talking a lot to my colleagues about coming into touch with the vulnerability, the way our first
young man did.
Yes.
And about what that does to our students, what is our responsibility there? I've had a lot of anxious reactions and feedback from a lot of people when I tell them that I do work very emotionally, and I find it extremely important to come in touch with our own emotional centers, our own emotional experiences, so that then we can apply it in our art form. The question is, how far do you go with that, and do we have a responsibility as a voice teacher? One of my colleagues was saying yesterday that she's afraid to open up certain areas with a student because she's not a qualified therapist, so then where does she go if she opens up some real serious issues? And two kinds of things. Who are we feeding? Are we bringing out important things in people? I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Are we bringing out important things in people, or are we in fact really exposing them to emotional vulnerability that perhaps we can't quite handle? And how do they then apply it in the song, and how do they then, what is the issue? Do you have those emotions right up front when you're performing it, or do you put up a bit of a self-protective bubble, if you will, from what you were explaining, so that you have that bit of separation, so that you are not so emotionally overwhelmed by what you're doing that you cannot then go over that?
Okay, let me take one at a time. Yeah. Well, number one, don't be afraid. Teachers should not be afraid, because the thing, when I was with Lee Strasberg, I did see a couple over only, I think, 2 or 3 people over a course of 20 years where this one student was emotionally off balanced, you know what I mean? And so since singing teachers work one-on-one, you get to know the student to a degree, so that you know how far you can go. And it can be a gradual thing, or it can be something that moves quickly. Some people in the classes that we do in New York, we're happy when they break down and cry, because then that is the beginning, when they can show that, like that first boy. I don't know if he's still here.
No,
he left. I mean, that was great. But, you know, as voice teachers, we are therapists. We have to deal with the total person. It isn't just voice. And the vulnerability, I'm glad you brought this up, I think is the most important part of all of it. And it has to be there in classical music as it is in theater music. And why they, they're still not doing that. I think they're afraid of it, like you're saying. And it just, I think that's why it's not really happening in that field right now.
Andy, can you, I'm sorry, just a quick B, can you give us some suggestions as to how you would pursue this same line of thought into the art song and into our opera material?
Okay, I would do the very same thing as I did with these people today. With the art song, I would get them to say the words, translate it into English, so that they know, they really know what they're saying. See, I think that so many students, when you're doing the foreign languages, don't really know. And you got to know every word and be able to say every word, so you know what that is when you're singing it in the language, that you know what it is in English, so that it can tap your vulnerability or your feelings or your emotions. And the same thing goes when you have these 2 girls here singing with each other. They had to relate to each other through their voices, through their minds, through their acting. And the same thing has to go in opera. What happens there is somehow it's more difficult in opera, because you have more difficult music, you have more difficult, the singers have to feel like they have to think more about their vocal technique, so that they have to, you got to get, what should I say, you have to get cleverer about it in that field, because you can't blow your voice. But I found, like when you saw the people today perform, that when they got more vulnerable, it freed their voice. They were able to do more things with their voice because they weren't able to be afraid of what was coming. Because after you do the vocal warm-ups and you get the technique out of the way, that has to start working in their minds subconsciously, so that you can go with the word, you can go with the feeling, and the voice will follow. And if you get people relaxed and learn to use the energy correctly and not out of nervous energy, then they will learn to do it, properly. But the only way you can really learn to do it is to do it and let them become vulnerable and see what happens with their, because our minds can do 3 or 4 things at one time. We don't have to just think about our vocal technique or our acting intention or the audience or our partner or whatever it is. We can handle it all, and all of you know that as teachers, who I'm sure you've all been performers at one time or another or have been so involved, you know that there's this extra creative thing that takes over when you are on the stage or when you are performing. There's this extra creative outlet that you plug into. So that is the thing you have to ride. It's learning to get on that creative thing and going with it and not being afraid to go with it, because nothing can happen.
Andy, can I say something about the part about handling the students?
Sure.
I have classes at the Forum. I have a classical class and a pop class. And the way I learned about all of this was one night in class. I was a physical and emotional wreck because I was 37 years old and lost my voice. I had a big career going.